is Valley News Live at 5:30.
We continue to follow breaking news for you tonight out of South Fargo. One person is dead after an officer-involved shooting this morning. Valley News team's Harrison Prey spoke with police and joins us live now from the scene with the latest. Harrison.
Yeah, Courtney, the incident happened right behind me, and it all started when the Fargo Police Department responded to a call of an officer-involved shooting at 10:50 this morning. Now, 2 officers were involved with a suicidal man. Dialogue went back and forth for 40 minutes between the officers and the man before shots were fired and the man was killed. Now, a press conference was held this afternoon at 2 o'clock by the police department, and Chief Cebulski had mentioned multiple contacts that man had over the course of this year.
As to the incident itself, our department had received numerous calls for service since approximately 7:30 this morning from the same individual, asking for similarly the same things: medical assistance and an expression of suicidal ideations.
Now, the officers and the man are yet to be named at this point, and along with that, investigators were here at around 3:45, but since then, no new information has been found at this time. Reporting in Fargo, Harrison Prey, Valley News Live.
All right, Harrison, thank you.